Another episode of the ramblings of a redheaded stepchild, and I am going to talk about what it's like for me when I train. And it's like this more often than not. And it's not that I don't like to train, but I have to train a certain way, especially like right now because I'm getting ready for my show, right? And I have to train hard, and you know, a lot of things hurt nowadays or whatever, and so sometimes I'm not into it the same as maybe I used to be or whatever, but it's got to get done, right? So today was quads, and first of all, it was so hot in the gym, so freaking hot. I'll tell you right now, I swear to God, I was gonna skip it. I wasn't even gonna do it. I was gonna do something else. You know, quads is I have this whole little list, and you know, I programmed myself a 10-day training week, and there's 3 off days in there, and so anyway, so quads was in the order, right? So I wasn't going to do it, but then my second client this morning, she came in, and I'm like, okay, what are we doing today? And she's like, I have quads, and I'm like, fuck. Like, all right, I'm going to make her do it, so I've got to do it too. I can't whip out of this. So all day long, you know, and today was just a long ass day. I don't even know how many clients I had today. I had a couple of breaks in there, but it was all day long. And in the breaks that I did have, I had to do my cardio, make some meals. I was running around, so I didn't get to do it until later in the day to begin with, my training, you know. And then I was dreading it, so I was just dragging my feet, whatever. So I did it. And I was gonna squat today, right? And I just had it in my head, you know, and I kind of just throw something together in my head. And I'm really good at, I'm not a normal person, right? And so I'm really good at kind of like saying, oh, that sounds like it's gonna suck. So I think that's gonna be good, right? And so I wanted to do 10 sets of 10 squats. And since I've been bodybuilding, I do this whole like ass to grass thing, and I just drop right down to the floor and fucking stand back up. But so 10 sets of 10 with 2 plates. So I purposely got my heaviest squat bar, you know, the 65 pound, and so 245, right? So I did a couple warm-up sets, you know, plate quarter, went to 2 plates, and I started. So, you know, whatever, I'm not going to even list off all my little nagging things right now, but my knees were hurting. So so I started my squats, and it wasn't very pleasant, and so I had brought out knee wraps to use, but was, you know, I hate having to wrap my knees, but especially since I'm kind of like trying to go, you know, could have been faster maybe, but still, if I'm wrapping and unwrapping in between them, it's just a pain in the butt. And I don't know if it was the humidity or what, but I couldn't catch my breath to save my life, so I'm like panting like I've never done a day of cardio in my life. And so I got through the first 3 sets. And at that point, I'm already like sweating. Oh, it was so hot in the gym, humid, and but all the doors were open, but it was just it was bad. And so I'm 3 sets in, and I'm like, okay, I'm almost halfway there. And then and then I was excited about that. I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm almost halfway, and then I'll only have 5 sets left, you know, and I'm like chalk on the floor, making sure I don't forget how many sets I've done. So I get to set 7, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm not sure I can finish this, right? I'm just like so out of breath, and I couldn't catch my breath, and I was tired, and it was so hot, but I kept pushing, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not stopping now. And so then I only had 2 left, right? And then I had one set left, and of course at that point I'm like, I don't know what your problem was, you did this just fine, you know, but I was already tired, so okay, so I sit and I'm catching my breath. Now I've done 12 sets altogether, right? But 10 sets, I did my 10 sets of 10, and my legs are just so swollen that you can't see definition, and they don't hurt yet, but my knees are freaking killing me. My knees felt like I stuck glass bottles in them and hit it with hammers, you know. And I'm just sitting there. I'm in a pool. I can't believe how soaked I was. I'm sweating so bad. And I'm like, okay, that sucked, you know. And so I sit there for a second, And I get up and I drag myself over because, you know, like I'm trying to get my teardrops bigger. So I drag myself over to the leg extension. I'm like, all right, let's do these teardrops things. Because I'll tell you what, at this point now, like after doing that, I'm feeling like, all right, let's just do calves and go home. That was enough. But of course, I can't do that, you know. So I go over and I do the leg the leg raises. And I'm going, right? And I'm like, you know, I'll probably do some extra sets. Well, then I decide, you know, well, you know, I did 10 sets of 10 over there, so maybe I can do 10 sets of 15, because I was doing sets of 15, and I'm thinking, oh, I'll do, you know, I usually do like 4 sets of something and move on, right? And I'm like, I don't want to do a million things today, so maybe I'll do 5 sets of this, and then I'm like, well, I just did the 10 sets of 10, maybe I'll do 10 sets of this too, right? And then I didn't want to drag my feet either, so I was like, yeah, you know what, let's put it on a timer. And so I put my phone out and I turned my timer on, and so, oh my god, that was bad. Now the longest set took me 23 seconds to do, of all 10 of them, you know, and I pushed through that, and that was hard too, you know. I stayed at the same weight, but squeezed out and with the toes out, so I'd hit my teardrops, and roughly 2 sets in a minute. It wound up, you know, by the end it was a little over 5 minutes, but so I got through 10 sets, and I'm like, holy, I mean, I got up off that thing, and I'm not like a big noise maker when I lift, but I was making noise at the end of my last couple sets. I couldn't help it, it was just coming out. And so I get up off the thing, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And so now I'm getting pissed, you know, because that fucking hurt, right? And so so I'm sitting there, I'm like panting, and now, I mean, my legs are just, you know, my legs are so tight. I wasn't able to walk. I almost fell 3 times. And I'm getting, you know, like the wipes to wipe down the machine and stuff. And then so I'm like, okay, well, I guess we gotta go do Spanish squats. I don't even know why. I'm just like, you know, I just kind of like hang my head, and I want to finish. I want to be done, but I can't. You know, I'm like, you only did 2 things. Stop it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, Spanish squats. So now by this point, I'm getting angry because my legs hurt, and I just want to be done with I don't want to be doing this, but I can't stop from doing it. And so the whole thing's just pissing me off, right? So I go get my bands and set everything up, and I'm doing my Spanish squats, and I got through 30 the first set, and I'm like, all right, we can do this, because I'm gonna go to 100, right? I don't know why I do this to myself, but so I get through 30. Well, that was the biggest set, and then everything after that, I was just, and the longer I went, the more, you know, as I was going on, the more angry I was getting. I mean, by the end of this thing, I'm just like looking around, looking for people who are looking at me funny, right? Because I'm gonna say something, you know. I'm like that angry. I'm just like looking to start a fight angry, you know. And but I just kept going. You know, I didn't even take the bands out till I didn't even rest long enough like to take my bands out, or I mean my legs out of the bands. So I keep going. I make it through 100. Now at this point, I'm super mad too. I'm like, by the time I got to my last set, I was kind of like, I wasn't just looking around to see if anyone was looking at me. I was fantasizing. I'm like fantasizing about people starting shit with me. You know, I'm like, I'm just gonna kick someone's ass. I get that angry, and but I'm not gonna say it fuels me. I don't need to say it like that. It's just, I don't know. It's this weird personality thing in my head, right? It's like this whole like suffering and anger and, you know, just freaking messed up in the head, right? That's how I train. That's how I train. So I finished the Spanish squats, and I mean, I don't even know how I finished it, because like it was bad. And so then I dragged myself over to do calves, you know. So of course I'm not done yet, right? So I go and I do calves, and now at this point, so now by the time I get to calves, I'm like an insane person. Okay, I'm doing 3 sets of 35 is what I do, because I wanted to do 100, but you can't divide that by 3 evenly, right? So I did 3 sets of 35, and move my toes out in different directions each set. And I never got through a full set of 35, not on any of them. And when I stop though, so trust me, when I stop, it's stop, take a couple breaths, and keep going, you know. So I'm just like, I'm doing this. I'm like shaking my head and just putting my head down and then laughing. And, you know, and anyone looking at me would have thought I was like completely insane because I was in pain. I mean, I was in pain, but I was just laughing at myself because it was like, why? I don't even know why you're doing this. Please stop. And it's like, and then there's this other voice in my head that says, no, keep fucking going. You know, that's just the way it works. That's how it worked, right? So I finish the freaking calves. Thank God I'm done with legs. So I drag myself over to do abs. Oh my God. So abs are funny. I don't know. I'm just doing body weight. You know, I'm not doing like any kind of weighted abs or anything like that because we've been trying to get my waist to slim down. But I also just have this feeling that it needs to keep toned. So I've been doing abs. I did double crunches because I didn't want to do like I didn't want to do upper abs and lower abs and all this kind of stuff. But again, you know, I get going and I'm like, let's do 100. That's always how it pops into my head. It's like something that's not like so ridiculous. Like I'm not going to do 1,000 crunches, right? But it's like, you know, like kind of crazy for right now. It's like you're so tired and you just want to go home. So sure, why not do 100 reps? You know what I mean? So started that. And again, you know, I just couldn't keep going. I had to keep resting. But again, rest means take a couple breaths and keep going. So now, I mean, I'm not very angry anymore. I just want to get done. That's what I'm feeling right now, right? I'm like, okay, let's just get this done. Just get this done. Just get this done. And then once I finally get it done, I gotta do cardio, right? Because right now I'm doing cardio twice a day on certain days, and today is one of those days. So by this point, I certainly didn't want to do cardio. My legs are shot. I'm tired. I am drenched in sweat. I'm hungry. I did not want to do cardio. It's only 25 minutes, but I'm just like picturing it and my hip aching or something, and I don't know. It's just so miserable. And I did procrastinate a little bit, but dragged my ass up there and I play Scrabble. What I do for cardio is I put my incline all the way up at like 15%, and then I put it at 8.8 miles per hour, and then that way I'm not like having to run, so I don't have to bounce around. I can still read or watch something. And I've been playing Scrabble lately. I've got like 10 people I'm playing Scrabble right against right now, and I just keep, you know, cycling through. But anyway, so now by this point, I'm just like ready to cry. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not I'm not aggressive. I just kind of want to cry. I'm just like, why is the time going by so slow? Why can't this just be over? You know? And, but it finally is over. And I just sat there. I mean, I was standing, so I just stood there for a second, just kind of like holding on to the thing and hanging my head. And now I'm just so tired. And I just want to go home, but I don't want to move anymore. So I like literally went and sat on a couch and finished some of my little Scrabble things. But, you know, and then I got up and I ate something, and then I dragged myself out of there. So, my thing though is that, you know, I see a lot about how you gotta love this to do it. And I do love training. I love training and I love what I do, but it certainly is not what keeps me going. It is not what fuels my workouts. You know what I mean? I kind of do what I do because I don't know how not to, is I think the best way to describe it. I don't know how to take it easy. I don't know how to just say, that's good enough. I don't know how to do that. And I'm so hard on myself in my head. You would be shocked to hear the things I say to myself in my head. It's not nice. But yeah, so that's what training is like for me. And I think that anybody good at anything, there's something a little wrong with them in the head. You know, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, soccer or powerlifting or bodybuilding. It really doesn't matter, because you have to kind of obsess and you have to kind of obsess to be, you know, the best or even really, really good at something. So I think that's true of anybody, but that's definitely true of me. There is something wrong with me, and I'm fueled by suffering. You know, it makes me feel like I'm progressing when I make myself suffer. If it's easy, you know, if it's kind of pleasant and it feels okay or good or whatever, then I don't feel like I tried hard enough, you know. So I'm just constantly pushing. But that's what suffering, that's what fuels my workouts. So anyway, I am home now. I'm still sitting in my sweaty clothes, and my food is ready, so I'm gonna go eat and take a shower and try to get some sleep. I could probably sleep for the rest of the week, but I have to be up to train someone at 6 in the morning. So I am gonna go get all that done, and I will talk to you soon. Enjoy your next workout. I don't know what fuels your workout, but I hope it's a good one. See you later.